If I threw a stone at a wall, nothing interesting would happen. But if I threw the same stone at a window pane, everything changes. Suddenly, barriers shatter, the outside rushes in, and the way we see the world completely transforms. And that is the strange power of the window pane. It is just a thin sheet of glass, fragile, transparent, and almost invisible. Yet, for centuries, it has quietly shaped how humans think, how we innovate, and how we understand the world beyond our walls. Because the window pane does something extraordinary. It separates us from the world while still allowing us to see it. And that simple idea teaches us three lessons that I would like to talk to you about today. The first is how a window pane perspective. The second is how window panes can cause innovation. And the third, understanding something does not mean actually looking through it, rather taking the actually learn it. So going on to the first point on how window panes represent perspective. Sometimes all it takes to have change is to how we think about something. Simply a different window can cause change. Take NASA astronauts for the International Space Station. When astronauts looked through the space station's observation windows, they saw Earth from 400 kilometers above. Borders, countries disappeared. All they saw was one fragile blue planet floating in darkness. Many astronauts call this effect. After seeing Earth through a window, they return with a completely different perspective about humanity. Suddenly, countries feel smaller, and protecting our planet feels more urgent. All of that from one window pane. Sometimes we don't need to move on, we just need to change the window we are looking through. So then on to the second point, which is how window panes represent. A window pane may seem ordinary today, but it has helped shape some of the most important innovations in modern architecture. Look at Apple Park in California, where Apple, designed by Steve Jobs, has an entire campus with the largest glass panes ever made. Thousands of window panes forming a circular building. Why? Because Steve Jobs believed that if his employees could constantly look outside through these window panes, looking at the trees, the sunlight, the open space, think more creatively. The result is that a workspace where engineers design the next iPhone is surrounded by glass and window panes that show light instead of concrete walls. In other words, those window panes don't just let in light, they help ideas come out and come to fruition. Innovation sometimes begins with something as simple as letting people see further, which can allow your idea to fruition. Just like how a window pane. Now, on to the third key thing, which is how window panes remind us seeing something isn't the same as understanding it. Today, most famous windows in the world are not made of glass. They are the screens on our phones. Scroll through Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, looking through tiny digital window panes into other people's lives. We see someone holding a vacation photo from some tropical country or announcing that they got into a top university. But those posts are window panes. They are not the whole room behind a person. For an example, when tennis champion Naomi Osaka withdrew from the French Open, many people were shocked. From the outside, fans only saw her victories and was only the fame through the window of social media and news. Behind that window pane was someone struggling with mental health and that the public couldn't see. It reminded the world that what we see is only a very part of the actual story. And sometimes the most important truths are hidden behind the window pane and require effort for you to understand. So then what's a window pane really trying to teach us? It teaches us to change our perspective. Like astronauts seeing Earth from space. It teaches us to unlock our creativity, like the glass walls in Apple Park, unlocking innovation. And it teaches us to look at the surface, like understanding the reality that people go through behind social media posts. Because life is full of windows and window panes. But the real question is really simple. Are we simply looking through them, or are we learning something from what we see from them? Thank you.